Hey, Warren here. Welcome back to Black Seed Garage. This video we're going to focus on putting a new SpinTech exhaust on the Camaro. It's going to be a little bit of a mishmash though. I originally put the SpinTech exhaust up right before Autocross week last year, and then when the race week was over I decided two things. One, my headers were wore ass out and I needed new ones, and two, I wasn't quite happy with the exhaust, so I want to take it apart, tweak it a little bit, and really perfect it. Important thing is I'm really happy with it now. It's up nice and tight, as high as you can get. It's out of the way, sounds good. So I'm gonna get that done, and one or two more other quick things on the Camaro because I got parts rolling in for the Firebird, and we're gonna get working on that too. Seems like I go through header gaskets pretty fast, so I'm gonna give myself a little break. Use one of these to add some flexibility right after the header, and maybe I'll save an exhaust gasket or two. As you know, the headers are a little bit offset coming off the engine. So I played with the length of the collector and the transition tube from round to oval, and I got them to where they both end right here at the end of the transmission cross member. That'll make it a whole lot easier and a whole lot more even from here on back, working on the cross member. I like how it looks, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and tack weld these together and then keep working from here back. Here's a quick mock-up of my new exhaust. Coming off the headers, we've got the crossover pipe. It relocates the mufflers in the back behind the back seat, and then of course it still comes out the side redneck style. This is the first version that I'm pulling back out of the car and make a few changes to it. The new headers spread these two pieces out a little bit, so I have to spread that out a little bit. I'm pretty happy with it all up in here. And back here, I'm gonna change it a little bit. I'm gonna push the mufflers farther back, and that'll allow me to pull it up a little bit farther. And I'm gonna change this radius because it's almost in the way of the cowl tracks. So I'm gonna do something different there. And you can see I had it as a 3-piece. I like that. I'm gonna basically keep it that way, but I'm just gonna make some changes back here and really tighten up how it looks up under the car. So here's the front part welded up. I'm really happy with it. I had to split it here and widen it out just a little bit for the new headers because they were farther out. I still got this right in the middle of the drive shaft. It's up nice and tight. Looks real good. So I'm happy with the front half. Next, I am going to take these little angle puppies here, and I am gonna work around this little foot well here, and I'm gonna bring it in and try and bring that muffler a little farther over to the side. So that's what I'm gonna work on next. Now to get this offset piece to fit just the way I want it and bend around this here, I'm gonna have to cut a couple more inches off the end of this pipe, and then I should be in good shape. I got the front section mounted back on since I cut off a little shorter. I've got the next offset piece put on. So now I am going to figure out exactly where I want to put the muffler. So that's what I'm going to work on next, and then cut off this somewhere right in here. Here's the front section. It's in bolted up. I really like how nice and tight it is up there. I got the mufflers on. So now I just gotta work on these turnouts and have them come out in front of the cowl tracks and see how they look. After mocking up the side exhaust, I don't like it. My cowl tracks are in the way, so I gotta bring it too far forward. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to use my mufflers that have the one out in the back. They're also even thinner, so I'll really be able to get a lot of ground clearance, and I'll just run it out the back. I'll just put it turned down or something right here. I got the flanges cut off the other mufflers. I'll go ahead and mount them on these slimline ones I'm gonna use. Coming out the back, I'm just going to have a turn down heading towards the ground. I'm going to use a couple pieces of extra tubing that I have to make the turn downs myself. So I'll work on that next. To make the turn down, I just cut a bunch of slits and I'm going to bend it over and weld up. And it kind of looks like this. Not beautiful, but they work. Nice. We're almost to the home stretch. Pretty much all I have left to do is mount a couple hangers on the back. I got a couple of these generic ones from AutoZone. I'm going to mark with a Sharpie right where I want to put them. I'm going to weld them right to the case. And I'm going to use these holes right up here. This is where the rear seat belt used to be located. I don't use the rear seat belts anymore, so the holes are empty. And they're also reinforced nicely, so it'll be the perfect place to hang the mufflers from. Well, I think we're down to just bolting these flanges on the mufflers and running a bolt up through the seatbelt hole, and I think we're going to be about done. Here's where the 3/8 bolt comes through the seatbelt hole. It worked perfect to hold the hangers. I'm very happy with it. So pretty much we're done with installing the exhaust. The only thing we have left to do is crank it up, cold start it, see how it sounds.